In recent months, drone operators of the Russian armed forces have achieved success on the front lines, destroying Ukrainian personnel and equipment, as well as disrupting the logistics of the Ukrainian armed forces. Ukraine did not ignore what was happening and began to take countermeasures. This was reported in the blog by Russian military correspondent Alexander Kharchenko, who provided at Robert Brovdi, call sign Madyar, but a strong organizer and specialist in UAVs, was recently appointed as the new commander of the Ukrainian Armed Forces Unmanned Systems Forces. In a few weeks, this even managed to affect the line of combat contact. Bad news for the front. After the appointment of Madyar as the commander of the Ukrainian Armed Forces Unmanned Systems Forces, the hunt for our birders began. From my own experience, I can say that the pressure on logistics has been eased and all efforts have been directed towards identifying and destroying our UAVs, Kharchenko specified. He noted that the Ukrainian armed forces, when they calculate the locations of the Russian Federation drone operators, then use all possible means of fire suppression. According to Kharchenko, the Ukrainians do not skimp and even strike with the HAIMARS MLRS. They pay special attention to Russian units with FPV drones on fiber optics. We need to strengthen camouflage and change positions more often. And, of course, we need to intensify work on the enemy's birdhouses. It is practically impossible to beg for a missile or FAB to destroy them. Kharchenko pointed out the problem areas. The Magyar Birds unit was personally founded by Robert Brovdi. Initially, it operated as part of the 251st Territorial Defense Battalion, actively participating in battles for strategic positions such as Bakhmut, Soledar, and Blahodatny. Brovda outlined an action plan for the next 100 days, identifying several key objectives. Among them are advancing 6 to 7 units of the unmanned systems forces into the top 10 most effective units within the defense forces of Ukraine, creating a unified command and online reporting system, as well as launching a full cycle of ammunition supply and a centralized warehouse for critical components. In addition, Brovdi announced a large-scale recruitment campaign, the establishment of a network of training centers, and personnel optimization, which includes the removal of ineffective military personnel.
Israel hit Iranian government targets Monday in Tehran, including the notorious Evin prison, the Israeli Defense Ministry said, as other strikes targeted Iran's underground enrichment site at Fordo for a second time. According to Associated Press, other targets include the security headquarters of the Paramilitary Revolutionary Guards, Palestine Square, and the Paramilitary Basij Volunteer Corps, which is a part of the Revolutionary Guard. During his daily briefing, IDF spokesperson, Brig General Efi Difrin said, despite that in recent days, there had been a decrease in the number of launches, the Iranian attacks are not over. He also said the U.S. strikes on Sunday significantly damaged nuclear sites. The IDF continues to work to realize the objectives of the operation as they were defined to them by the political level, he said. Iran meanwhile fired a salvo of missiles and drones at Israel and warned the United States that its military now has a free hand to attack American targets in the wake of the Trump administration's massive strikes on Iranian nuclear sites on Sunday. Fears of a wider regional conflict loomed large after the United States inserted itself into Israel's war by attacking Iranian nuclear sites, raising urgent questions about what remains of Tehran's nuclear program and how its weakened military might respond.
גם בשעה זו, אנחנו ממשיכים לפגוע ולשלול את יכולת שיגור וייצור הטילים של המשטר האיראני. ברגעים אלה, מטוסי חיל האוויר מעמיקים את הפגיעה במרחב טהרן. בדגש על מפקדות של משמרות המהפכה. כל מרכיבי האיום על מדינת ישראל. בשעות האחרונות הופעלו התראות ברחבי הארץ. ההתראות הופעלו בשל שיגורים בודדים שנורו במספר מטחים. מערכות ההגנה האווירית פעלו כדי לזהות וליירט את האיומים. על אף שבימים האחרונים ישנה ירידה בכמות השיגורים, המתקפות האיראניות לא מאחורינו. אנחנו עוקבים אחר מיקומי השיגורים מאיראן לעבר הארץ. אנחנו מנתחים באופן שיטתי את האזורים האלו, מעדכנים את תוכניות התקיפה ומטייבים את ההגנה על מנת לשמור על ביטחונכם. בשיטה הזאת תקפנו במרכז איראן, בבסיס שנקרא רעד 5. תקפנו 2 משגרי טילים שהיו מוכנים לשיגור מיידי. פעולה זו צמצמה את המטח האחרון. כל בסיס ממנו זוהו שיגורים מתחילת המבצע הותקף ונפגע. טוב, אז צריך לומר שהאמריקאים פגעו ביום ראשון, תקפו ופגעו באופן משמעותי באתרי גרעין. אנחנו בשנים האחרונות, בחודשים האחרונים ובדגש מאז תחילת המבצע בתאום הדוק עם הצבא האמריקאי, בחירי צה"ל משוחחים עם מקביליהם, הרמטכ"ל מדבר כמעט באופן יומיומי עם מקביליו. עם הגנרל קיין, יושב ראש המטות המשולבים, זה שיח ברמה האסטרטגית, עם הגנרל קורילה, מפקד הפיקוד המרכז סנטקום, ברמה האופרטיבית, והתאום הזה הדוק ונמשך. חשוב לי להדגיש כאן, זהו תאום, זהו לא שיתוף פעולה. צה"ל ממשיך לפעול כדי לממש את יעדי המבצע כפי שהוגדרו לו על ידי הדרג המדיני.
Israel launched large-scale attacks on Iranian capital Tehran on Monday, striking military targets with unprecedented force. The Air Force has now begun a wave of attacks against military targets in Tehran, said the Israeli Air Force, as the hostilities between the two countries enter the 11th day. Facilities of Islamic Revolutionary Guard, known as SIPA, are said to be struck in the attack. Defense Minister Israel Katz said in the statement issued by his office that the IDF is currently striking with unprecedented force regime targets and governmental repression bodies in the heart of Tehran. Katz said the images illustrating the depth of the damage will soon be released. For every missile fired at the Israeli home front, the Iranian dictator will be severely punished, and the strikes will continue with full intensity. We will continue to act to defend the home front and defeat the enemy until all war objectives are achieved, Katz went on saying. Meanwhile, Iranian media reported that the city of Kharkiv near capital Tehran has been targeted by Israeli missiles. There have also been reports of one ballistic missile fired from Iran at northern Israeli city. The missile has been intercepted. Overall, 7 or 8 missiles were launched from Iran this morning, with no reports of injuries.
یا میدون سپاه باشه واسه می اومد پایین